Okay, right at this moment, I want to hop into Cape Town, South Africa, and be able to welcome our mentor, our father, our inspirer, our motivator, our trainer, someone that we love calling Jaja because of the things that he's been able to do for us. So I want to take this opportunity to invite our guest speaker of the day and trainer of the day, Mr. Mike Vandeventor, all the way from South Africa, to take it on from here and unpackage for us what he has for us today. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mike.
Good evening, Justice. Thank you very, very much.
Good
It's
evening.
always such a pleasure to share with you. And I welcome this evening's sharing. It's because you are so valuable to me. You know, since I first came to Uganda in 1996, I've grown to love the people from Uganda, or the people of Uganda, and especially you who are in my team, in my family, who're part of me. Even if there are new ones that I haven't met personally, you are all very precious to me. And for me, if I can ever share even just one thought that may help you or take you forward or make a positive difference, I would gladly do that. Because I know in my own time in the business, I've had input from so many people that have helped me to come all the way that we have come. And that is one of the beautiful things of New Life. We're in a community where there is caring and sharing, and which is based on the principle of uplifting people, empowering people. Now, no community is perfect. Even in our community, we sometimes have people who mess up and don't work and live by the principles that underlie our kind of business. But that is just life. There's no perfection in this life. But by and large, New Life is a beautiful community where each person's well-being, each person's future is precious. And as far as I can help to move you ahead, well, that's what I love doing. Now, I don't know if there are people on this call that may not have met me or who on a call like this for the first time this evening. Dennis, at least Justice, could you give me an idea? Might there be people who've seen me for the first time this evening?
Yes, Mike, we have quite a number of people that are logging in for the first time and hearing you from the first time. I see Bridget, I see George, I see Martha, Vincent, all these people are hearing you from the very first time.
Okay, that's good. Well, welcome to all of you. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. But before I carry on, I would just like to also recognize the fact that we have some real winners in the team New Life, team Line Kings. What I'm aware of, I might have missed somebody, but in the top personal production in East Africa, Joseph and Grace, number 5, Dennis and Rachel, number 1 in East Africa. Those are wonderful achievements. And the point is, any one of us can, in time, get to be recognized in any of those categories. But to those of you and others who I may have missed, I apologize if I've missed anybody. Well done. You're doing us proud, and we're very happy for you. Now, for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, we came to this business in 1983. That is more than 30 years ago, at least 40 years. Now, it's my maths now. In fact, it's more than 41 years ago. At that time, I was still in full-time church ministry. I grew up knowing that that was what I had to do. So after school, I went to university. We had to study 7 years to qualify, 2 degrees. And then I was working already for 13 years. In other words, 20 years after school, gone to the top of my salary scale, because in our church you get paid a salary. You don't live off the tithes of what people bring into the church. But anyway, be that as it may. So I studied 7 years, worked 13 years, top of my salary scale, to be broke. Now, I never worried or became a minister, went into the church for the money. That was never something that entered my mind. But at that time, we already had 3 of our 4 children. And I found myself with a salary taking us just halfway through the month. And I didn't know what to do. I could see no way out. But then one day, somebody that I'd last seen at university 13, 14 years ago phoned me and said he's coming to the town where we were, which was coming 200 kilometers. And he wanted to come and see me. I didn't know why. He didn't say anything about making money. Anyway, he came into my office, showed me something. I always call it something because I don't know what he showed me. I understood nothing. The only thing I knew was he was talking about us being able to make money, extra money on a part-time basis. To cut the story short, that Saturday, my wife and myself went in the opposite direction to see a little bit more. Uh, and still we weren't completely convinced. And like many people, we were too scared to say yes, but we were also too scared to say no, which is a weak position. So we said what many people do, oh, we'll think about it. But the funny thing is, we'd hardly gone about 20 kilometers on the way back when we turned to each other and said, well, why not? Why not? There's nothing to lose, because the little we needed financially to start was not going to make us more broke. And I realized that, well, I thought at that time it's just something for my wife. I never saw myself in the picture. And that is why we got started. Why not? In the hope of just earning a little bit of extra money. Now, what happened just after we joined, I think the month after or the next month, I'm never sure, there was a big convention, what today is called a summit, in Durban, a city about 700 or more kilometers from where we live. And the people who sponsored us said, you must go to this thing. And I said, I can't. I haven't got money, because it meant 2 nights in a hotel. However, I believe God moved me, because I obviously borrowed more money from the bank, and I went. And that event, I always say, is what I believe is the reason why we are talking to each other tonight. I think if I had never gone to that event, we might have dropped out of the business, because what we saw was a very small picture, little understanding of new life in the business and the potential. But at that event, I saw in a big crowd of about 5,000 people, all races, even though it was still apartheid in South Africa. I saw people from, well, the area in the country where we come from, the Eastern Cape, which is generally a very poor area, very backward in many senses. Even if you drive through there today, you wonder what people live off. But anyway, I saw people from there earning more money than I thought was possible for anybody to earn. And that started sparking something in me. But moreover, what I saw was, here was a company with integrity, a company that was caring and really good for people. And what followed from that, over the next 3 years or so, I kept attending events. I kept going to summits. And as much as I could, which meant on a Monday night traveling 120 kilometers one way to go to training the odd Saturday afternoon. And in that time, a realization grew in myself that I really started loving this business and what it's doing for people. And after a lot of soul searching, I came to the conclusion that I can serve God in the marketplace. I don't have to just be in the church to serve Him. So I made the choice to leave the formal ministry. I got another job just to still give me an income because at that stage the business wasn't bringing in much, and start building the business. Now, the funny thing, and I want to share this with you to give you hope. We moved to a different city, East London, in South Africa, not UK. And I literally knew only two people there. The one was going to be my boss, where I was going to work. And obviously, I wasn't going to try and sponsor him into the business. The other one was somebody who was already a distributor in a different leg. There wasn't much going. In fact, there was basically nothing going. So we came to a new city where I basically knew nobody. And I had to start finding people to talk to. Now, those days, I'm talking now about something that you might not know, is a telephone directory. That was a big, thick book that listed everybody who had a telephone, a landline those days. And I'd go through the list, and wherever I saw a first name with a surname, like say there's Smith, 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 and here suddenly there's Mike Smith, I would say to myself, well, anybody who puts their first name in must be more open-minded. And I'd phone Mike Smith. And I said, Mike, we don't know each other from anywhere, but can I ask you a question? And that's how I got the business started. And then eventually we moved in 1993, we moved to Cape Town. In that time, somebody that started in East London, who got somebody started in another city, it got somebody started in Cape Town. And eventually from there came my business in Kenya, or a large part of it. Well, all of my business in Kenya came from after we moved to Cape Town from two legs. And in 1996, that's 13 years after we joined Neolife, my business in Uganda got started. Now, there's a lesson in that. 13 years. A lot of people did give up long before that, and a lot of people would have given up. I just knew this was something that I never not wanted to be part of. And because we were around, I happened to meet somebody who was one of the people that I didn't know. I got the name from somewhere. He didn't want to join, but he referred me to somebody else to whom I showed the business. And all these years since, we've been great, great friends. And from him came somebody who became a Sapphire director, and down from him came Dr. Eseza and Eddie Nambasi, who were your uplines. And from them, the Kanakulias and all of you. So the point is, a lot of my business, the biggest part of my business, came 12, 13 years after we got started. Now, what if we'd given up before then? Then I assume you wouldn't have been in the business today. So there's a lesson in that. But let me take a step back. So I was saying that I had to study for 7 years. I was working for 13 years. That's a long time to be broke. I think you'll agree with me. 20 years to find myself broke. I never expected that to happen, but that's what happened. Now, when people join our business and they don't get rich in their first year in the business, Some even want to get lots of money in the first 6 months. They think there's something wrong with the business and they quit. Meanwhile, they may have worked for so many years in a job to be broke. So I don't understand how people think. I often think people don't think. Because if I had to go 20 years to be broke, what is so difficult about 13 years to get to the biggest part of my business? That is one of the key things for you and for each of us in this business. We've got to think long term, because sometimes in the short term, we have a lot of success and move quickly. But often that doesn't happen. Because remember, when you come into the business, you don't know the business. Some people are not confident working with people. Some people have bad habits. Some people's character is not well developed. So it is unrealistic if you come raw into something new to expect to have quick success. You may have quick success, and sometimes that might be in spite of you. I'm not saying it will be the case with you. I'm just talking generally. So what we've got to realize, I always say it's like a child going to school for the first time. That child cannot expect, we call your final year in school matric. I don't know if you have the term there, but you cannot expect to start in school your first year and be able to walk out at the end of that year finishing matric. That's unrealistic. It doesn't work. You've got to learn from grade to grade to grade to grade to grade to grade. And when people now come into the business, they seem to not think it's necessary to learn and grow. Now, the fact is, why one of our daily success habits is personal development, is we need to grow to get our business to grow. Use a simple example. When you're new and you've got to invite people to look at the business, you probably don't know what to say. There's a lot of guidance in the literature. Your uplines may guide you. But if they don't, you could be talking to people and doing it wrongly or not effectively. Why? Simply because you haven't learned to do it the best possible way. Or you talk to people and they come with negative feedback, they talk negatively, or they come with objections. And now you don't know how to handle that. Why? Because you haven't learned yet. So the fact is, for any new person in the business, you've got to accept the fact that you've got to give yourself time to grow into the business as a person. There are two areas in which you need to grow. The first is your skills, knowing about the products, understanding the marketing plan, knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to present, knowing how to follow up, knowing how to train new people. Those are skills. And the wonderful thing about skills is you can learn anything you need to learn. That is so wonderful about being a human being. We can learn. Even animals can learn some things to a limited extent. But we as humans can go from what we normally call 0 to hero. Why? Because we can learn. We can learn the skills. We can learn to do things better. We can grow our understanding. And that's very important. If you don't understand the nature of our business, you're already going to have difficulty. But the second area in which we need to grow is character. You know, I've just been reading this week again in one of John Maxwell's books about the value of character. And it's a common fact. I'm not sure that I remember the percentages correctly. I think it's something like 90% of failure, they say, is due to character failure, not skills failure. And I've seen that in my own business. I've seen highly skilled people who moved up high in the business, eventually lose everything, spoil the business for many people because of character flaws, cheating, cutting corners, not being honest. In fact, John Maxwell was quoting research done by two professors in America over a number of years with like 75,000 participants, business people, successful people. And they would all ask the question, what are the most important character traits for success? And just about 100% of them said honesty. Honesty in a leader is the number one quality. Now, I've seen people, leaders who grow up quickly because maybe they were very, what is the word, outgoing and attracting people easily. And they were working very hard. So they drew a lot of people. But there was a lot of dishonesty, stealing distributors from other people, giving promises to people that they shouldn't have done. And all of those people, sooner or later, they lose the business. Just very recently in Kenya, somebody who was, I think he was at least the Emerald Director. Now, many, many years ago, I was on the point of suggesting that he be cancelled out of the business because he was taking money from people and never giving them their products. But then it seemed to blow over and he was doing quite well. And a month or two ago, Drew McDermott said to me, listen, they've suspended this guy. Why? Because he was doing the same thing again. He was not being honest. He was cheating people. So you see, it's one thing to learn the skills. You can talk the talk, but you've also got to be able to walk the walk. In other words, your character, people must be able to trust you. They must be able to depend on you. They must know you care about them. You see, and that's a big challenge. When we joined the business, and I remember that was so true of us, it was all about us. We needed the money. So whenever I spoke to anybody, it was what they could do for me. You understand that? And that is absolutely wrong because people pick up on that. They get the vibe that this person is just hunting me. And basically people are negative to begin with. They would immediately think, what do they want from me? Whenever you approach somebody, in the back of their mind, they might be thinking, well, what do these people want from me? While actually, if you understand the business, our business is built not on what other people can do for us, but what we can do for them. The more people we can help become healthier through using our products, saving money through using our cleaning products, getting their crops grow better, whatever, the more people we can help through the products, the more we benefit. But you see how it starts? It starts by sowing, by giving out, by helping, by reaching out to people for what we can do for them. The same with when it comes to presenting the business opportunity. Think of how those people can benefit if they saw the opportunity and if they seized the opportunity and then made something of it. That's a mind shift. That's a different approach from me, what I've got to do for me, to what I can do for them. It is called servant leadership. We're the servant of people. We serve them by reaching out to them, by helping them, using our money to get hold of them, using our resources to help them get moving, taking our time to mentor them and to guide them. You get the idea. It was Jesus who said it's far more blessed to give than to receive. The fact is, if we don't first give, we won't receive. That's the nature of network marketing. That's the nature of our Neolife business. We've got to give to people. Give them the gift of your time. Give them the gift of your caring. Give them the gift of your sincere valuing of them, in the sense that you want them to better their lives. And then if there are those who don't want to use the products or don't want to join the business, then you don't have to feel bad about it, because they make a decision to remain where they are, not to improve their lives. It is not our job to make people do what they should be doing. Our job is just to share with people, to show them. And if they're not interested, that is their loss. It is their loss. It's not our loss. I've had in the last week or two a couple of people, good people, that I wish they would join the business, because I know they've got the potential. But they just won't. But am I worse off? No, I haven't lost anything. True, I haven't gained anything. But I'm not minus because they said no. Now, often when people say no to us, we think, oh, we've lost. No, you haven't lost. You just haven't gained. But what you have gained is experience. Because with every connection you make, with every interaction you have with people, you learn. You learn what works, and you can learn what doesn't work. And the more you are in the game, the better you become. Now, I love sport, especially rugby. I even support Uganda when they play in the Sevens tournament, except if they play against South Africa. But you don't win a game by never conceding points. The other team often scores. Sometimes they score more than you do. But you don't win just because the other team never scores. You win when you score more than the other team. So we don't have to get hung up when people are negative about what we do, whether they're not interested. That is their problem. You know, if I think back to our own lives, I mentioned we have 4 children. They're all grown up now with their own kids. We've got 6 grandchildren. I would never imagine when we joined the business, I was broke. 3 of our children were there. The 4th one came along. They were eventually all still preschool. I think the firstborn might have gone to his first year of school by that time. And I was broke. How would I have educated them throughout school, through universities, if I was broke even before they started school? Had we said no to this opportunity, we would have been big time losers. But you would also have been deprived of an opportunity. So I'm just grateful that we did say yes. We could have said no. We could have doubted and said no. And who would have been the losers? We, I, and my children. So when people say no, they're the losers, not you. Our motto should just be to say, well, okay, that was a no. Let's move on to the next one. Because as we go through the people who say no, 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 we get to somebody who says yes. And then we focus on that person. We spend our emotional energy on that person to help that person get off the ground and get moving. Instead of spending emotional energy moaning about the ones who said no. I hope you get that point very clearly, because that is one of the things that really trip up new people in the business when they don't have necessarily quick results, and they may have a lot of people who actually are negative about the business. Remember, in the long term, you will find the right people. And to be president's team and really live a life of luxury, you actually only need 6 strong, qualified legs. You don't need 60. You need 6. So to get those 6 people, what if you have to go through 100? 94 who said no. Well, what? So what? You'll be rich. You'll be traveling the world twice a year at least. You'll be living a lifestyle that the people who said no will never live. So just understand that to be successful in this business, we've got to be open to learn, develop our skills, develop as a person, become a better person, become a more loving, caring, honest, sincere person. And nobody of us is perfect. Even I, who are so more far down the road in terms of years than all of you, I still have to grow and develop. So if you have that understanding that you've set yourself on a path where, especially if you're very new, you're just beginning. You've got to go through the process of growing, of learning, of gaining experience. You've also got to go through the process of sowing and finding some of your seeds falling on the hard ground where it doesn't even penetrate. Some fall in the rocky ground where it does come up but never lasts. Some of it falls in amongst the weeds, where the weeds, the cares of life, kill the seeds. But you keep sowing so that where your seeds do fall in good ground, you could have wonderful return. So what am I saying? I'm saying that this business is a process. Just like going through school, through going through university is a process. Or going through school and learning a trade is a process. You can't become successful if you try and avoid the process. Now, the more you commit to the process, the quicker your growth can be. That's also the beauty of the business. Some people come into the business and they don't have that much time. So they might grow slower than somebody who has more time. That's fair. We're not in a race against each other. We're in a race against ourselves. As long as the little time you have, you put in consistently, and you work in a focused way, even with a little bit of time on a regular basis, you may be able to make more progress than somebody who puts in a lot of time this week and then for the next 3 or 4 weeks do nothing. So, having said all of that, I just wanted to let you know that in your life if you don't know it yet, or if you don't believe it yet, there are absolutely wonderful opportunities and possibilities waiting for you. And even if at this stage, if you're new in the business, you think, oh, well, I don't know if it can be for me. I don't know if I can do it. Just know you can learn. Everything you and I can do today, walking, eating, sitting upright, rolling over, going to the toilet, washing ourselves, talking, everything we had to learn to do. Think about it. My uh, firstborn grandson is now in grade 2. He's in school in Mauritius, which is quite a turnaround because now he's going to school in English instead of our language, Afrikaans. But also he's now learning French, the second language. And my daughter says he so loves French. He says he wishes he could have it every day of school. You see that eagerness and openness to know you can learn a new language if you want to, and if you commit to it. We can learn anything you need to be able to good at, to be successful in this business, you can learn. And you who are in Team Lion Kings are so fortunate that there's so much support, so much training, apart from what we get from the company. The company gives us so much. If you use your back office on the website, there is so much training material. You go to YouTube and get videos on products, on the business. There's so much support. But then especially from the team that you are part of. You should be grateful that you're in such a good, solid team, where the leaders are caring people. So my message to you, and I speak to myself, is go at it full out within the time limits that you may have. Don't go half-heartedly. Don't say, well, I'll try and see if it works. I can promise you it won't work if that's your attitude. Take it and say, well, we are going to make it work. Doesn't matter how long it takes, we're going to make it work. And you know what would be my greatest reward from specifically also this evening is if I knew that each and every one of you on this call eventually achieved your dreams through this business, even moved up to president's team and beyond. That would be so satisfying. I can't describe it to you. So that's why I'm trying to encourage you also a bit for a selfish reason, not for the money. That's not the important thing. It's there, but to have the satisfaction of seeing your lives changed, and through you changing the lives of many other people. Because in the end, I believe that's why we've been put here on earth, to make a meaningful difference to the people around us, not just to become rich. There are many rich people who are really such vile people that you don't want to have anything to do with that. But that you become a person, not only a successful person, but a person of significance. Significant in the sense that you've made a lot of lives better because your life became better through new life. I thank God every day for this opportunity. I thank God that you saw the opportunity. And I truly pray that you will find the success that you are looking for. So, Justice, with that, let me wind down and say all the best. And I so wish that, or I know that your year-end rallies will be wonderful. I know what your functions are like, and all the best with that, and God bless.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mike. It is always a privilege to learn from you, to hear from you. We really want to thank God that we are being mentored, we are being nurtured by you. It's really a great opportunity to pick up from all your wisdom, all your knowledge and skills. I really want to say thank you so much. And like you said, that the greatest way we could say thank you is by working so hard, putting everything that you've been able to share with us today into practice so that we can actually be able to step up, we can be able to build great businesses, we can be able to change as many people's lives as you have changed ours too. So really, every person on this call, I would really pray that and pray that and wish that whatever our upline mentor has been able to share with us, may we put it into action so that we can be able to live better lives, so that we can be able to change other people's lives, so that we can be able to say thank you to him for putting off time to love us and share with us. So thank you so much, Mike. We look forward to meeting and seeing you again and to learn from you again. So thank you so much. Yes.